Hey everyone, Speedyfighter here. I hope everyone's doing good today. I'm here to bring you my review and reaction of Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 7. So real quick, just to start off, I'm going to throw out a spoiler alert. If you haven't been caught up with the TV series to this point, I would recommend you not watch this video. Or if you haven't seen Episode 7 yet, what I would recommend is go watch the episode first, come back, and then check out this video. Alright, so real quick, spoiler alert, that's the last time I'm giving you the warning. And yeah, so I also here have some Overwatch gameplay because I was requested by a couple people for some more Overwatch gameplay, and I'm absolutely loving the game, so I'm going to keep putting out some Overwatch gameplay for you guys. Now, let's get right into the nitty gritty, and that is episode 7. Now, overall, this was a pretty decent episode, kind of reminded me of episode 6 in the sense that it almost felt like it was just setting up for what's going to be happening in future episodes. Now, one huge thing that happened in this episode, and probably my favorite part, and I'm sure a lot of people can attest to this, and that's the fact that the Hound is back. So, as far as we know, well, I mean, I think it's guaranteed the Hound is back in action, and he's what a lot of people were thinking is called the Gravedigger Theory. I'm not going to get into the theory. If you want to know more about it, just search up on YouTube or on Google. I'm sure you can find a lot of information on the Gravedigger Theory. But basically, it was that the Hound wasn't dead, and in fact, he was taken. He was saved by a man who was essentially like, I guess you could say, a priest. A religious man who takes him under his wing and kind of shows him the realm of peace. Now the show is not going down that aspect too much. I mean, yes, he was saved by a religious man, and the religious man was showing him peace. But as you'll see later on in the episode, that doesn't last very long. This peaceful life that the Hound was living under this religious follower did not last very long. And at the end of the episode, I'm going to be skipping right to the end here, the religious man and all his people are murdered by what seems to be the Brotherhood of No Banners. I believe it's called. I believe it's them. I'm like, that's not confirmed. I don't believe it's technically confirmed who exactly killed them all, but it seems that like it's them. But either way, the Hound, he was off in the forest. I think he was looking for firewood or whatever he was doing. Comes back, finds them all dead. And now we know, hey, look, the Hound that we know and love is back again. The aggressive, I can kill everybody kind of Hound is back. But due to this ending, I don't know if we're going to see Clegane, because the whole thing was that the Hound was going to fight for the religious, for the High Sparrow in the fight to the death, essentially, whereas against Sir Robert Strong, who Cersei was going to choose as her champion. And so the Hound, a lot of people were hoping was going to be the champion of the High Sparrow. However, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. I mean, it could still happen, but it doesn't look like that is going to happen, which is kind of unfortunate. But either way, I don't really care because the Hound's back, and I'm really happy about that because I love him as a character. He's very complex, interesting, and I think he started off in the series not exactly the most likable, but I find him very likable at this point, and would love to see him reunited with Aria, though I don't know if she'd take well to that. But yeah, so Hound is back. That's the big thing about this episode. Just like how Benjen Stark was back in the last episode, it seems like everyone's back from the dead. Season 6 is literally back from the season where everyone comes back from the dead. You got Benjen Stark, you got Jon Snow, and now you have the Hound. It's just crazy, and hey, I love it, man. Keep it coming. I don't mind. Let's get Ned Stark back from the dead as like a headless zombie guy. Alright, and so after the Hound, we end up going into Marjorie, and Marjorie's talking to the High Sparrow, and I'm pretty sure Marjorie's, I do think Marjorie's just playing the High Sparrow, even though, like, at first I'm like what with this episode, it's kind of like, man, is Marjorie actually, like, has she been, like someone possessed her? Is she hypnotized? Or what's going on here? Why does she seem so, like, into the faith? And I knew, like, there must be something to it, because Marjorie's pretty intelligent Game of Thrones player, right? And it seems in the end of this that story arc in this episode, it seems like that is the case. Marjorie is, I think she's playing the High Sparrow. I really do think so. Nothing too exciting in that sense, but Marjorie sent her grandmother out of out of Westeros, and she's going back home. So I mean, we'll see where this goes. But as far as I know, like, I really don't know how this is gonna go. All I know is there's gonna be a battle with Sir Robert Strong against someone. I have no idea who it's going to be, though. But it'll be kind of interesting to find out if it's a Hound or someone else. It doesn't seem like it's going to be a Hound anymore, though. Then after that, we go into Jon Snow, and Jon Snow is with Davos, Tormund, and Sansa Stark, and he's basically talking to the wildlings and trying to get them on his side to fight the Boltons. It takes a little bit of a little bit of negotiation, but in the end, they gave him his words. The wildlings have joined their army to fight the Boltons, which is good news. And then he ends up going into Bear Island and hoping to get the Bear Island support as well. And he does. In the end, due to Sir Davos and his just being such an awesome dude, he was able to get the support of the Bear Islands. But unfortunately, the Bear Island only has 62 fighters. So, I mean, apparently they're really good fighters. So let's hope so, because 62 fighters ain't going to do much against Boltons, who are apparently 5,000 strong. But it's good to see him going around. He also ends up going to House Glover, and they say no to joining him. It was an interesting moment with Sansa. It was kind of sad. I don't know. I just anything to do with like the Starks, just it's always depressing because of what happened to them. But yeah, unfortunately they're not going to join him. And then you see at the end of the episode, Sansa Stark sends a letter, and I'm pretty sure, I think it's pretty obvious that letter is going to Littlefinger, because she's probably asking him, hey, can I use your Knights of the Vale? Because they just need that. If they can get the Knights of the Vale, I think there's just no way they're going to lose that battle. But right now, it's very risky for them to go into battle, and Jon Snow is just convinced, like, we just got to do it. So if she can get the Knights of the Vale, perfect. They're going to win that, no problem. If not, there's going to be a lot of casualties, and it might not go the way we're all hoping it will go. Then we end up seeing Cersei and Robert Strong. Nothing too exciting there. She's just kind of like, I'm going to fight for my son, and I'm not going to leave my son, and whatever the case might be. But we'll see how that goes. It's nothing too crazy. Then you have Jaime and Bronn. I'm so happy Bronn's back, because, man, Bronn is just such an entertaining character. He honestly is the funniest character in Game of Thrones right now. I just honestly think so. I think he may have always been the funniest character. But, there's a couple of chuckles that you get from Bronn and his awesome lines, like his line of, it's like saying, I have the biggest cock out of all the Unsullied. And if you don't know the joke, the Unsullied had all their cocks removed. So, you get it now, hopefully. And then we end up having, so Jaime and Bronn, they go to the castle, Jaime tries to talk to the Blackfish, hey, like, can you just surrender? We're not going to kill any of your men if you do. If you don't, we have to take the castle by force and kill all your men. And the Blackfish is like, listen, I don't give a shit. I'm taking, I'm gonna stay here till I die. I don't mind dying in this castle, so you gotta take it by force. It was an interesting little exchange there that I didn't mind. Then we go into Theon and Mira and his sister, and I believe it's Mira. Oh man, I hope I didn't ruin the name there, but yeah, his sister, right? And she's kind of like, pumping him up, convincing him, listen, like, if you're gonna be a pussy and you're gonna be a broken man, just end your life right now. Otherwise, wake up, man up, and let's win, let's battle, let's go. And their plan is to go find Daenerys, the dragon, the mother of dragons, convince her to fight for them, and that way they can defeat Euron. And it's just an awesome aspect, because we know that Daenerys needs to ship, so it's perfect. And obviously, in this sense, at least from what I can tell, and I think our perspective is, Theon and his sister are the good guys in this storyline, and Euron Greyjoy is like this new villain, right? So, it'd be interesting, because we know that Euron wants to essentially marry or wed the Daenerys, and have her armies and be rule the Iron Throne as king and queen with Daenerys is like his goal, right? So. But he's a villain, so we're gonna see, like, it's gonna be interesting to see what Daenerys sees. If she sees who truly is the villain, who's the good one, who should she really side with? Hopefully she sides with Theon, but who knows? It's gonna be interesting. And obviously it's a race to get to Daenerys, and funny enough, Daenerys is really in need of those ships, so she ain't gonna mind when she finds that out. Then we get into Arya's. So I kind of talked. It ends with the Hound and him just ready for revenge. So, but right before that technical ending, we have Aria Storyline. It was like maybe about 5 minutes of Aria, but man, this was crazy, and like I was getting nervous. So Aria she finds these two guys that are just sitting at a table talking, and they had like a Westerosian accent. So she's like, here, I need a ship to Westeros back home. So I need a ship back home, and they're like, well, we're not gonna give that to you. Then she throws some like coins down, some money to them. They're like, all right. So she gets a ship back to Westeros, and she tells them, hey, listen, we're gonna leave to dawn. We'll leave at dawn. I thought that whole scene was just badass and just reminds me of just, it's just Arya. Arya's a badass, and I just love that scene. But then all of a sudden, this old lady comes up behind her while she's just standing there staring into, I think into the sea or something, and basically just we find out it's all of a sudden it's a waif, and she just stabs him or stabs sorry not him stabs Arya, and I actually at first I thought she like cut her throat open, but like it just seemed like that, but it didn't. But she stabbed their Arya once or twice, I think, in the stomach. But Arya luckily jumps off the bridge into the water and escapes. But we see her walking around Bravos badly injured, so we don't know what's gonna go on with that. So I'm really actually kind of a little afraid there. So hopefully Arya makes it seem like I watched the preview. I'm not gonna say anything about the preview, but I watched it and it seems like hope it will work out. But man, I was honestly afraid that that was it for Arya. So, but thank God she's not dead, at least not yet. So hopefully she ends up killing the waif. But yeah, so anyways, it was a great episode. Obviously, it was just there to set stuff up for future episodes. So it was another kind of, I wouldn't say filler episode, but another slower paced episode. But we got to see the Hound, man. So in the comment section below, let me know if you're as excited about the Hound as I was. And make sure to share this video, like this video if you did enjoy it. It helps me out a lot. And make sure to subscribe to my channel, because by subscribing you get to be firsthand in seeing my new videos that pop up. And like I said, I thank everyone for all the support. I've hit, I think believe it was like 325, 326 subscribers. This is great. Keep up the support, and I'll keep pumping out content for all of you. Have a great day, folks, and take care.